Hello. Trying to get ready here. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Make sure. I think y'all can hear me. Hi. Hey Ronnie, hey Norma, hey Laura, Lynn and Cindy and Teresa and Joan and Tana and Jackie. Hey everyone. Perfect. Thanks, Norma. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Facebook Live. Sorry, I look a little wretched. Not wretched, but just kind of like disheveled today. It's just been going and going. It's thanks. Yeah. Then we had Jason's birthday this weekend, so that's exciting. We went to lunch today with the fam. That's always fun. And there's always fun stuff happening there. So got to see our family. That's always nice. And thank you about the hair. Yes, I cut it all off. And hey Trudy, we have a public holiday to commemorate the Queen's death. Oh, that's so sweet. Oops, sorry. I love her. So yeah, so he's out looking for supplies right now. So, yeah, we're probably having a hurricane coming, but what can you do? Was talking to my niece last night about it, who is Jason's niece, but she's mine. She all mine. And she was getting nervous about it because she's from Alaska. And everyone else in the room, who was me, Jason, and his mother, were like, we're all sitting there just like basically saying, like, how can y'all not be worried? And we're like, well, this is our thing. We're Floridians. We're used to this. We can handle anything. I mean, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And you can only be so prepared. And everybody's buying toilet paper and all the water right now. So hopefully he's going to find gas right now. So that's the other thing that they do, is they jack up gas prices. So you try to get it as early as possible. So hopefully I'll be on with you guys next week. If nothing weird happens, we are up inland, but we still are affected. The last one that came through, well, what was it? How many years have we been in this house? Gosh, a while. A few years ago, we live on a cul-de-sac, and a whole tree came completely down over the cul-de-sac. So it was kind of blocking to get into our house directly. So we kind of had to, figure that out. And of course not everybody can get to you right then and there. And so the one after that completely took out some towns, around us, which was a couple years ago, is Michael. And so we'll see. We're in a state of emergency, and we have already got linemen and electrician, whoever, I can't remember who all goes to there, but I do know, like, all the men and women who work to get our power back on and get us safe, and everybody's on guard right now. So yeah. Cindy says she survived a tornado one year, and that was very scary. That scares me. Tornadoes scare me more than a hurricane does. Very rarely do we get them around here, but we do. And they've come through Tallahassee before. And to me, that is more scary than a hurricane. I can prepare for a hurricane. I can, at least know a couple days ahead of time where a tornado just pops up, and that is literally terrifying to me. And those of you who are on the West Coast with earthquakes, that is terrifying to me, because you just don't know. And I know my sister-in-law and her family up in Alaska, they get those, and those are scary. And they're kind of like us with hurricanes now. They're like, oh, that was a earthquake. And I'm like, whoa, you know, so yeah, no warning. Yeah, no warning with tornadoes, but we're going to do good. But I just wanted to forewarn you guys if for some reason we can't make it on next week, that's most likely the reason why. Mississippi will be some help somewhere in Florida. Yeah, yeah. So what's really great is the states around us, they just band together. So we'll get people from Mississippi, helpers, you know, people helping out from Mississippi, from Alabama, from Georgia. I mean, as far up, you know, the East Coast as, yeah. And what's really neat is that, you know, when there's something happening down south or in another part, this whole area, those states, we just start sending people like crazy. So, you know, it's just how we feel that, you know, I mean, we're going to help our fellow people out, you know. Okay, so hello everyone. Oh, Cindy, yeah, they're in Jacksonville. Law is coming over from Texas to work on any electric power. Oh gosh, Cindy. Yeah, I mean, worst comes to worst, they can, you know, if it starts veering that way, they can head this way, get in touch with me. Okay. Now I'm just knocking things over. Hey, everyone. That was enough chit chat for us to get going today. Hope everyone's doing good. It is the beginning of fall where you're at. It is still summer where I'm at. It's probably in the high 80s right now, so it's still really hot out. It's doing, you know, what it does here in Florida. So hopefully by January we will have fall and then our 3 days of winter, and then we'll be back to summer. So that's kind of how it goes here. But girl, sit down. You're okay. Lacey's in here. Her daddy's not here, so she's like, what's going on? Why is no one paying attention? There, I'm paying attention to you. So today I thought we would just play in the machine. Today in IQ Designer, and we're going to play with our fills, and we're also going to do line work, bringing in a design. And let me show you what I came up with. I can't turn my neck right now. It's kind of jacked up, but it's a fairly simple and easy little project to do. And we've had so many new owners out there that I thought, well, this is a good one to reintroduce you guys to bringing in clip art. And we do that a lot, but it's always good to refresh on it. And also it's for our new owners of the Baby Lot machines that have IQ Designer, or the new owners of the Brother machines that have My Design Center, that we play with some clip art. Now, I posted a little while ago, and I'm just going to show you really quickly. On the group page, if you scroll down, you can see here somewhere, where did it go? It moves, things move on here. Let me scroll. If you scroll down, about 2 hours ago, I posted this pumpkin. So we're gonna do our little clip art on this pumpkin. And so what you want to do if you are on your phone or an iPad, not on your computer, is you want to save this design to your pictures. Usually you can press and hold the picture, and it'll say save picture, and it'll end up in your pictures. Now, if you are on, I only know how to use iPhones. So if you're on a different type of brand then, or Google or whatever it is that the other one does, I'm sure people or someone around you can show you how to save that picture. But also if you scroll up, I literally, what did it say, 11 minutes ago, posted a video for you guys. And because we're going to use IQ positioning app. And so this is Doug from Baby Lock. He made a great video on it. And so you can always watch that. Now, of course, I'm just going to go through the steps like I normally do. And then when you go back to do this later, you have some help, you know, with the YouTube video right here. And this is a Baby Lock sanctioned video. And yes, it'll pretty much work the same for Brother. And again, you'll want to save this pumpkin right here. I saved it off of the interwebs. And if you're going to use a clip art, the easiest way to do it is if you're in your phone. Of course, I'm doing it on my computer, but if you're in your phone or your iPad, all you have to do is, hopefully you can see that jump over. Let's say I want to use a clip art of a pumpkin. Then all I'm going to do in Google or whatever your search engine is type in pumpkin clip art. And I do black and white because those are the easiest ones to work with. I don't really generally bring colored ones in. And the reason why is because sometimes the color ones are really hard to stitch out. And I shouldn't say it like that, but filling it in yourself when we go to do this makes it a really pretty stitch versus bringing one that already has a bunch of fills in it, if that makes any sense. And then after that, I just click on images and I start to look for a pattern I like. And so I just scroll through here. Now, some of these are going to be harder than others to manipulate because there's a lot going on. Let's see, like this one right here. See all those lines jumbling around? The other thing is you want to look for the watermarks. Do you see the watermarks right there? That will try to stitch out, and you don't want that. So look for something that doesn't have any watermarks or anything like that. And so when I was looking, I found this little guy right here. And yes, it says Shutterstock on the bottom, but we will erase that. But his lines were nice and thick. They weren't like thin and, choppy. So this one worked really good for me. But again, you can go through and yes, possibly you could use one like this. You just might have some, little areas that may not stitch out that great. But oh, look at this one, guys. Let's look at this one. Oh, there is watermarking all over it, so we can't use that one. But, of course you can design your own, right? We have all the power. And so if you're new to your machine, that's cute. If you're new to your machine and you're like, what is she talking about? Let me kind of quickly go over that. Let's get this over to me. So the Baby Lock, Destiny, the Baby Lock, Meridian, Altair, and the Solaris Vision, Solaris 2, Solaris 1 all have something special built into it that's called IQ Designer. And now remember, if you have a Brother like machine, you'll have My Design Center. And that's basically a program where you can design and turn things into embroidery and do all kind of fun stuff. So you want to use it. You bought it. You're going to use it, right? You want to use it. Well, you can see behind me, a lot of everything that's up there, quite a bit of it, I use IQ Designer in some sort of fashion. So IQ Designer kind of acts like a digitizer. So that's probably one of the reasons why you purchased it, is because you could see all these great projects and stuff like that you can make. So it has built-in fills, built-in line work, built-in all this stuff. So as a great first-time project is something like this. Now, I have my phone right here, and I have saved that design in my photos right here, okay? And what you want to do is you want to download the app that is IQ Positioning. And so if we look here on my phone, I'm going to try to do this without any glare, but you can see right there, it's really tiny, but it's the black button, the IQ Positioning right there. So it says IQ, you can see that. And what we do is we take and we tap on it and it'll open up. Now, after you watch the video to get it connected to your machine and all that, these are the steps you're going to take to do this pumpkin. So right down here at the bottom, and I'm holding it at an angle for a reason because the light will just make it super glary. This one says select an image to design with. So I'm going to tap on that one. And what it's going to do is look through my images. There's my baby. Y'all, she's going to be Wonder Woman for Halloween. I got her costume. Okay, so I'm going to select that pumpkin right there, and there it is. And once it's connected to my machine, which I already know it is, all I'm going to do is hit send to the machine. And it's going to say, now my machine has to be on. Ask me how I know. It's going to say it was sent, and I'm going to say, okay. Now I need that first to design this. But when I was thinking about designing this, this was my inspiration. Let me show you my inspiration really quick. It's a Zentangles picture. And I'm like, oh, we could do that in IQ Designer, can't we? Look, we pretty much have almost all those fills, don't we? You know, depending on which machine you have, we can do that. So you could even bring this in, guys, and do this if you wanted to, but I like designing my own. So this is what I came up with. So it's fall, y'all. How cute is that? So I brought the shape in, I turned the shape into stitches, and then I used my fills to fill it in, and then added lettering onto the side, or onto the top and the side. And then it's fall is arrayed, and y'all is just straight across. So I'm going to show you how I did this, and it's super easy. The only thing I wish I had done, and when we're designing this, I'm going to do it this way, is when I put these fills in, I didn't change the color. So what that means is when you're designing, put a different color for each section. That way you can ombre it. And that's the only thing I wish I had done differently. But it's really cute. I even put fills in the stem here, and I put, you know, one type of fill here, one type of fill on these two, and one of the new fills from the Solaris Vision right here, which is really pretty. I love that one. That's going to be like my new favorite. So y'all ready to have some fun? All right, well, we sent our design over, so now we are going to go ahead and let me get y'all back up in case you have any questions. Let's just double check. Oh, Joanne, you're in Lake City? Ooh, girl. Okay. I feel you, sister. Ooh. All right, so no questions. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to the machine, and I'm going to show you how I designed this. Now, I'm not going to stitch this out tonight because I already have a sample. I don't need to. I keep making too much of stuff, and there's going to be a room clean out very soon. Let me do one thing. I'm going to close the door now that Daddy's home, and the baby ran to him. So I'll be right back. She's such a daddy's girl. I mean, she's a mama's girl, but okay. So let's switch over. And if you have questions as we go along, just type them in the box, in the chat box. What is a watermark on the designs you were talking about? So Judy, if you ever, and let me just quickly show you. And this is a great question. Let me go back out to here, and let's do that again. Let's do pumpkin clip art and go back to the images. And hopefully you can see this clearly when I pull up one with a watermark. I'm just going to pull up this one because I can see it right off the bat. Okay, so I don't know if you're looking on my screen, you might have to look closely, but if you see a brand name in the design, so they're usually really light gray. This one says iStock. So that means that is protected and you can get in trouble for using that. But if we were to bring that into IQ Designer, I don't know if you can see, the iStock is put all the way around it. This is keeping people from stealing this design. And so right here, I can see the same words, iStock, iStock, iStock. So that's protecting that design from, people like us using it but I don't sell anything. Now remember that I don't sell anything. So I wouldn't dare use anybody's designs if I was going to sell it without contacting them first, without saying, even if it was one like this, where I could just right click and save it. If I was going to use this design and sell it, I would contact this company and say, hey, do I need to pay for this? Because number one, they're trying to make a living just like we are. And number two, it's just, it's morals, So, but that's a good question. This one right here, ooh, you can see this all around it. I think, hopefully you can see it pretty good on my, but see, now that is a gorgeous pumpkin. That is a gorgeous pumpkin, but you can see that they've cross-hatched their watermark all the way across it. They want you to buy that design. So we couldn't use that because if we brought this into IQ Designer, it's going to try to turn all of these lines and those words into stitches, and it would just be a pain in the honey. So that's a really great question. Okay, so let's get started. Here we go. Hey, Julie. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and switch on over. There it is. All right, well, I keep moving my camera. Oh, we need to turn this off. Let's turn this off so we don't get any nasty glare. There we go. The glare is gone. And I'm going to get this back straight here. There we go. Remember, I'm trying out this new straight up and down feature. I don't know if I like it because it seems like it cuts a lot of the screen off, but you can see so much better all of the screen this way. So, all right. Well, here we go. This is what I ended up designing right here. And so this is what we're going to go for. Now, you don't have to put words with it. You don't even have to put it on a tea towel. You could put it on a pillow. You could put it on a bag. You could do whatever you want. This is your baby when you're done with it. So I just wanted to show you my finished one. And then I'm just going to go home. And this is how we're going to start. Now, I lost my mouse. I've been teaching like crazy, and I put my mouse somewhere. So I'm going to be using my stylus here. Okay, the first thing that we needed to do, which we already did, was take that clip art and wirelessly send it over to our machine. Now, again, this could be for your Destiny, you would have to save it to a USB stick and bring it over. But the Baby Lock Altair, Meridian, and any of the Solarises, you can wirelessly send that design over using the IQ positioning app. Now, if you're with a Brother, it'd be the same thing. You're going to use the Brother app that you use, and I can't remember the name of it, to send over to My Design Center. So transfer design over to My Design Center. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to start in IQ Designer. Oops. So we go home. So we want to select either, depending on what brand you're on, My Design Center or IQ Designer. So let's click on that. And I decided to do this in a 5x7 hoop. So on my screen, my Snap app, thanks, Cindy. Gosh, that looks terrible, doesn't it? Let me see something here. You can see little lines going across. Let me see if I can refocus this. See, I see little lines. See, I think this camera's going. So sorry about the little, lines going across on your screen. I really think it's time to buy a new camera. I might be doing that here a little bit later. Okay, so in your settings screen, so that your settings is your little piece of paper right up here. What I like to do is turn on my frame size when I'm working sometimes and what that is I'm going to put this frame size on the screen as a boundary when I'm working, just so I don't go outside of that boundary. So if I want my pumpkin to be within a 5x7 frame, I'm going to come to my embroidery frame display. And let's pretend like it was on the the largest one. Then all I would have to do is find the 5x7 and select 5x7 and then OK. And what it's going to do is just put a boundary line. It's not going to stitch out. All it's there is for design purposes. So if I went up to 200%, it's almost filling my whole area right here, which I think I'm going to leave it at just for today's purpose so you all can see what's really happening here. So it's really nice to have that outline. That way I know I'm not going to go bigger than 5x7. Okay, so next what I want to do is I want to find that pumpkin that I wirelessly sent over. Now, if you are on a Destiny or even, I haven't been on my Meridian in so long. You might see some words or something that say line. And let me click on it here. Right here for your Solaris, you're going to look for these little leaves. That's just what we're looking for right now. Let's click on the leaf. If you don't have it on yours, you may see that you have these right here. Okay, so you have image scan, line design, or illustration design. Now I'm going to use line design today. So let's go ahead and click on line design. And then when you're in this screen right here, what you're going to look for is the little Wi-Fi symbol. So if I tap on that, what's going to happen is you're going to get a list. Now, if you've never used this, you might just have one of these in here, one of these little things that say JPEG or whatever. If we tap the top one, it's going to be the last thing that you brought in. So that very last one is going to be our pumpkin. So once I select that, I'm going to hit set. And it's going to bring it into a screen. And this screen is basically just, you can crop, you can do whatever you want. I usually don't crop or anything in this screen unless I really have a lot going on out here that I don't want. Yes, there's going to be some lettering down here that will come in as stitches. We're going to erase that. However, you can see it's coming in at 2.28 by 2.87 inches. It's tiny, but we'll fix that here in a minute. So what we want to do is select OK. And what it's going to go ahead and do, yes, Georgia, yes, you'll select the USB instead. Yes, ma'am, if you saved it to a USB. So on this screen, this is just showing us what's happened. It's basically turned it into line work that you can play with. So let's go ahead and select set. And it's going to bring it in. And you're going to see the image in the background, okay? And what you want to do is look for these little guys right here. They may be down here, these little leaves with like a little bar in between them. But they may be down at the bottom depending on which machine you have. And what we want to do is turn the background image off. That background image is hiding out behind our line design. So the easiest way to do that is just go towards the lighter leaf. So I'm going to tap that until this little dot or this little triangle is all the way over here. And you'll notice that what happens is the background disappears. So now I can really see what I'm working. And again, I'm going to just zoom in more for you. Oh, that's a little bit too big. But you can kind of see what's happening. There's my lines right there. There's my pumpkin. It's not cut off. It's just that there's, I've blown it up really big. But can you see down here all this mumbo jumbo down here? That's because there were words on the image when we sent it over. So we want to erase those. Now the easiest way to do that, well, you know what we're going to do first? I'm going to zoom back out to 200%. Before I do anything, I'm going to make sure this red box is still around my design. Now, if you have touched your screen and that red box goes away, what you want to do is select your back button right here, just once. And that red box will appear again. The red box means it's selected. You can't do anything with it until it's selected. So I'm going to go ahead and change the size right now. And I selected size. And what I want to do is select the button that has the box with all the arrows going to the outside. So I have one that go into the inside, and I have a box where all the arrows go out to the outside. If I press and hold that, I'm looking within my 5x7 range because it's still on my screen, and I can make that as big as I want within that 5x7 range. Perfect. Beautiful. Gorgeous. I'm going to keep it. So then I'm going to select OK at the bottom to get out of that. And now I can select my eraser right here, and I can erase those words right there. So I'm going to tap on it, And I like to use the square, it's just me. And I can take my stylus or my finger, or if you're using a mouse, you can just hold down and erase. Now there is one little image that comes in right here, and it's just like a little line. I want you to make sure you erase that too. So how did you get to that frame, please? The 5x7 frame, Tana? Okay, so once I'm done erasing, whatever I need to erase, I'm gonna leave everything else the same. And I know there's gonna be some of y'all are gonna be like, well, I'm looking at this, and let me pan over, and you're gonna see this little jutted out line. And that might kind of freak you out a little bit. Really, it's gonna stitch out fine. It does have a little bit, your image didn't go away. So did you select this all the way down, Ronnie? You want to go to the lighter leaf and make sure that it can't go anymore. Okay, so this little guy right here, you can erase this and redraw that if that really, really drives you crazy. And how you would do that is use your eraser, erase that, and then you can come in here to your line properties right here, and there's a little pencil, and you can actually draw. I am not that much of a stickler. So I'm going to leave that because that when it stitches out, it's not very bad. So I'm okay with that. And let me see something here. Let's go back to 200 and let me center it back. Oh, there we go, right there. Okay, so let me get to these questions real quick. My image didn't go away. Ronnie, when you did the image, did you select line design, not illustration or image scan? How do I make the, okay, so Tana, what you have to do, and like I was saying earlier, you got to make sure there's a red box around here. And you can either do that if your red box disappeared. Now, you can either use your back button here until that red box pops up, or you can come down to your, you might see a little box that has a square with some dotted lines out the bottom here. You tap on that, you can draw. Now, this has to be all the way on the outside of everything. You can't touch any of the lines like I just did there. And it'll draw a red box around it. Then you can select the size button and change the size. Okay. Yes, I'm going to start over. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just start over and let's see. Okay, and also, Tana, how I got that 5x7 is you go to your settings right here. Here's your settings. Sure. Here's your settings right here. We're going to tap on our settings, and then you'll see embroidery frame display. Oops. And then you'll see yours might look a little different than mine. We're going to select where it says frame size, and we're going to scan through to find the frame that we want. There we go. Perfect. All right, cool. So I'm going to select close. All right, awesome. Good. I'm glad. Okay, so now we've got our pumpkin. But the first thing we need to do is we need to tell this stitch line what to be. Right now, it's just a drawing. And actually, what happens when you first bring in a line like we did, and I'm calling this lines, okay? These are lines. I know it's a pumpkin, but I'm going to call them lines right now. When we first bring them in, what happens is they automatically default to a satin stitch. Now, don't do this. I'm just going to show you what happens. Do you see that? Let's zoom in. It turns all these lines into a satin stitch, which could be very cute, but I want mine to be a straight stitch, not a satin stitch, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in so we can see. is I'm going to go first to my line properties. Now, our line properties are this first grouping of icons right here. They look similar to these down here, right? So everything looks similar, but we want the top ones. Now, you may not have this little guy or this little guy. That's okay. It still means the same thing. What you want to do is select the little piece of paper icon right here. And we're going to tap on the triple stitch line right here. So you're going to see a zigzag. You're going to see one that has 2 lines. You're going to see one that has 3 lines and then another line under it, which looks like 4, but that's actually your triple stitch. So let's tap on that. And then what I want you to do is select a color. It doesn't matter what color because you can put whatever color you want on your machine. But I just want you to see this happen. So I'm actually going to choose this dark blue. You're not going to see it on my screen as well as on your screen, but I'm going to select it and then say, okay. I'm then going to select this bucket right here. This is a must, okay? So go ahead and tap that bucket, and then you're going to tap anywhere on the lines. So if I tap right here, if the lines are all connected, that means that they're all touching, which this design, everything is touching, everything will turn into a triple stitch line. So if I go to next here, don't do that part, just watch. I go to 400, so I can see everything's blue, so I know that's going to be a triple stitch line. Yay! So if you're new to this and you just followed this and you just did this, you just did your first digitizing. Holla! So exciting. Okay, so let's move on to filling everything in with pretty designs. Where's my tea towel? So this part right here, where you see all the pretty designs in there. So how we're going to do that is we're going to use the little icons that are below the line properties. We're going to use our fill properties now. So that is the second grouping of 4 icons right here. And we're going to select that little piece of paper again. Now we have some options. We have fill, which means it'll completely fill the stitch. So if you're not quite sure what I mean here, let me grab this little B here. And let's fix that light a little bit so you can really see what I'm talking about here. So see his little face? That is all fill stitching. That's a solid fill in stitch. And what we want to do is something a little different. Yes, I'm calling them fill stitches, but we're going to use decorative fill stitches. So you could use stippling. You could use fancy fills is what I call them. And that's going to be in this little button right here. This little fun, little bubbly button right here. So if you tap on that, you get a screen or a little box that pops up that says select. So we're going to select. And here are all your fills right here. Now, depending on what machine you have, depends on how many fills you have. Of course, I've got the Vision upgrade, so I have all 48. But it doesn't matter how many you have. You still have a ton to play with. A ton. So we're going to select our first fill to go in the center of the pumpkin. So I'm going to bring this down. And I might do a couple, I might choose different ones than I chose for my sample, just because I can do what I want. Let's see. I think I'm going to go back up here. I think I'm going to use this guy right here. Oh, where'd it go? This one right here. So I'm going to tap that one. That's number 11. Good, Ernestine. I love hearing that. Let's select OK. Now, if you ever get stuck somewhere on the machine and it has an OK at the bottom, just select that OK. And at this point, you can select the color. I'm going to select orange and then OK. Now you're going to notice your design gets a little lighter. You may not be able to see mine at all because I have something funky going on with those lines across my screen. But what you want to select is this little bucket right next to it, not the top bucket, the second bucket. We're going to tap on that, and then we're going to take our finger and we're going to tap in the center part of the pumpkin. Okay, there we go. Now it doesn't look like much, but it comes out awesome. So now let's go put a different fill in right here on the two side ones here. And I'm going to go back to that little piece of paper. I'm going to then select again. Now this should already be activated. And I'm going to go select a different one. So let's see, what am I going to pick today? Let's pick some of the new ones. It is pretty. I'm going to do this one right here, number 48, and say okay. Now, if you, this is how we're not there yet, Tana. You got to wait. This is how you can ombre it. Okay. Either you can keep this color on and put the fills and all the same, and they'll stitch out in one color. Or if you wanted to, let's say, put a lighter color in the center and then variegate out to darker, then you're going to select a different color orange and say, okay. Make sure your bucket's on. And we're going to tap in those two areas right there, right next to it. Now let's go select one more fill to do our two last outer ones. And again, we're going to select our little piece of paper. We're going to select again, and we're going to go and find our last fill that we want to use for the pumpkin. I might do these little squigglies. Why not? And say okay. And then if I wanted to do that ombre effect, I'm going to select another color orange, and then make sure your bucket's on and tap and tap. Now, the stem is up to you. The stem, you could actually do it fully solid. I just did let's see if you can see that. Okay. I just did a crackle fill. Now it doesn't get down that small, so you kind of have to manipulate it. We're playing with things with it. Or if you wanted to do it completely solid, this is how you would do that. You can go here, back to your little piece of paper, and we can select a green, but we would want to select this guy right here and say okay. And then making sure my bucket's on, I'm going to tap inside of it. So you see how it's all solid? That's going to stitch out solid. Or I want to try something a little different. I'm going to go back to my little piece of paper, and I'm going to put that stipple in there. And instead of the crackle, make sure my bucket's on, and I'm going to put a stipple in. Now it is not pretty to look at right now, right? Well, when we go to the next screen is when we're going to be able to change the sizes. But if you're on an Altair, Meridian, or Destiny, pay close attention to this part. Because you're not going to be able to see anything until a specific part. So just follow along with me and pay close attention to this part. If you're on a Solaris, if I hit next, you're going to be able to see everything real time. And what I mean is, watch this. I can see what my stitches look like right now as we are looking. Okay. If you're an Altair Meridian and you select it next, let me just return here. It's going to look exactly like this. It's going to look exactly like that. And you're going to be like, well, I can't tell what the stitches look like, right? Well, this is what you're going to do if you're on an Altair, Meridian, or Destiny, and yours does not look like this. It looks like the full things that we saw a moment ago. You have a button down here that says Preview. So you're going to select preview OK, but whatever you do, don't select the set key. So if you have a machine that says preview right here, you're going to hit preview OK. It'll start to look like this, where it almost looks like stitches. This is how you're going to decide if you want to change anything. If you do on an Altair Meridian or Destiny or the Brother Like machines, if you want to change anything, you're going to hit return and it'll take you back. The Solaris is the one that shows you in real time what it's going to look like. But the Altair Meridian and Destiny, you have to go one step further to see what it looks like in real time. But what I challenge you not to do if you're an Altair Meridian or a Destiny is when you select preview OK, don't hit set until you are completely ready. I promise you, you will be sad if you do it and you're not completely ready. Okay, so the first thing that I want to look at is I'm using the stipple in the, and let me zoom into that so you can see. I was using the stipple on the stem, but look what happened. It only put like one little line in here, right? So what I want to do is, let me come back up to the stipple, and to move over to different parts of the design, you're going to use these little arrows. So it's showing me this is the green stipple. All I get is this little stitch out. So how am I going to fix that? Well, you can use it by playing with the size here. So I'm going to go here and go down as small as possible and see what it looks like. See, right there, not looking good, is it? Not looking good at all. Yeah, Lori, you can. If you're happy with it, you can hit set, absolutely. And that's from it. So that's not going to look good, is it, guys? That's not going to look good at all, right? That stipple looks terrible. So I think what I'm going to do is go back to my crackle, and I can do that by just selecting up here, and it'll let me go back and choose a different fill. And the crackle's right here, 0, 10. Now I did have to manipulate that crackle some, and I'm going to show you how to do that to make it fill in a little bit better. Let's zoom in. Actually, let me zoom in really close so we can see it. All right. So if you're looking here, you can see there's only a couple little lines, and you're probably going, what? Well, what you want to do is if you see either right here or down at the bottom something that says 100%, that's how we can change the size of our fills. So I'm going to tap on that. And again, yours may be down here where it says 100%. And I'm going to minus it down to 50%. That's as far as it'll let me go. And then I'm going to select OK. And let's see what that looks like. That's looking a little better, but I can do something and make it fill in a little bit more. So you probably also have this little key right here. And again, it may be down here. And it looks like a 0 with the degrees on it, and maybe a box with like an angle on it. Yeah, you can always hit memory anytime. That's a good point, Nikki. Select memory and just save it if you're afraid you're going to lose it. So right now you could select memory and save it. Okay, so right here, this is the directional key. So I'm going to tap it and I'm going to change the direction, I don't know, about 45 degrees, and let's see what happens. There we go. So it's taken that design and moving it, and now it's filling in more. Doesn't look like much now, but it comes out looking kind of cute. See that in there? That little green in there? So it's up to you how you do that. You could do that full solid, or you can manipulate it just like that. Now let me zoom out. And what if I wanted to change the size of the the fill in the center here. How am I going to find that? Well, you're going to use these little arrow keys right here until it highlights that one. And you're looking for the red box. Okay, the red box is now around our center fill right here. So what if I wanted to make that just a little bit smaller? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come to my size, which has 100%. Again, yours may be down here. And I'm going to tap that, and I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller, just to see what it would look like. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. All right, so it made the design a little bit smaller inside of there just to give it more movement. Now let's work on the two outside ones. And here's a little trick. If you are working on the same design, we have one design here and one design here. It's the same fill. You're going to arrow over until it highlights one of them. So it's highlighting this one. I haven't gotten there yet, Georgia. 1 second. Okay, so this one right here, I want to connect this one to the same fill over here. So all I have to do is hit the chain link. Ta-da! So now you're going to see red boxes around both of those fills. So we can change them together rather than doing one at a time. So I am going to make that a little bit smaller by using my size. I'm going to do 75%. You can do whatever you want. You just play with it till you like it. Now, if you're on Altair, Meridian, or Destiny, you just have to keep going over to preview to see the changes. Okay, that's really cool. That would be a really cool all over pumpkin actually, because it looks Argyle. I love Argyle. So, okay. Now let's do the two outside ones. So we're just going to arrow over until one of them highlights. And now I'm going to link them. And there you go, right there. So I'm going to change that to, I'll bring that down to about 75% and see what happens. I'm actually going to go more because I want some more fill in there. So I'm actually going to go down to 50%. I want it busy. I like busy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Perfect. I am happy with that. The tackier, the better. Y'all know me. Okay, perfect. So actually my pumpkin design part is done, but here's what I'm going to have you do. If you are on a Solaris, you're not going to touch a button right now. But if you are on an Altair, Meridian, or a Destiny, you're going to see a little button that looks like this. This is the outline button. And it like, Georgia asked me this question a moment ago. Normally I tell you guys to leave it on, don't I? But we're going to have a triple stitch run over the outside of everything. So we don't need an extra stitch in there. So if your little guide button that looks like this, it's a square with some bubbles in it, and if it says on, I want you to tap it and turn it off. I want you to click the off button. If yours says on, I want you to click it off. It'll just look better. Now at this point, since you're done designing, if you want to select memory and save it to your machine or a USB stick, that's always good, just in case something happens. You can delete it later. But now what we're going to do is we are going to set it. So if you're on an Altair, Meridian, or a Destiny, you're going to hit preview, okay, if you already have it. And now I'm allowing you to hit set, okay. If you're on the Solaris or the Brother Light, then you're going to hit set, okay. And now we are in the embroidery side of your machine. And let me answer a very good question that we get all the time. Cindy has a question, and she says, do you know if we can buy different fill designs? Short answer is no. Long answer is yes, if you buy Palette software, Palette 11 software. It has all the designs in there plus some. So you can build this pumpkin in there and fill it with whatever fills you want to. You can even custom design your own. But no, you can't actually purchase design. So the other thing is, I'm sure this is going to come up shortly, or it will come up again. And I'm always going to plead the fifth and just say, I don't know, because I really don't know. When is Meridian and Altair going to get an update? I don't know. They don't tell me these things. So, not sure. Okay. All right, here we go. So, what we want to do right now is we're going to add some words to the top and the bottom. And I'm going to zoom in just so you can see mine better. There we go. So I want to put it's fall, y'all. Now you can put whatever you want. I know a lot of y'all do not live in the South. Some of y'all don't even live in the United States. So I feel free to put whatever you feel right there. Happy fall, happy Thanksgiving, happy Halloween, happy equinox, Kippy, it can work on your Mac. You just have to have parallels on there. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to add some fonts. Here we go. All we have to do is down here at the bottom, and we would select add, and then we would select a font. So we're not going to use the big fonts. We're going to use our normal fonts. So usually I call them the AA font. So we're going to tap on that. And from here, you can select any font that your machine has. I'm just going to select these. I actually love 09. It's one of my favorites, but 10 is like a cursive font. That's the one that I use, and I'll show you all again here in a minute. But my favorite really is 09 because it's just kind of, like out there, So I'm going to start with it. Now, this is important if you have not used your fonts on your machine. So I'm going to start with my first word, IT''S. I'm going to select the I first, and I'm going to look on the screen immediately. Can you see how big that is? If I put that up here, that's going to be ginormous. So I want to go ahead at this point on the very first letter. Remember that on the very first letter, I'm going to set the size by using the LMS key down here, large, medium, small. So I'm going to tap it until it's on the M. So it's highlighted on the L. Let's highlight it on the M, and that is going to give me the correct size I need for this towel. Now you can leave it large if you want. You can make it really big if you want. But for this one, I'm using the medium font. But you have to do it on the very first letter. Can you adjust the size after this? Of course you can. You can play with that later, but it's easier just to go ahead and get it started from here. So I'm going to come now to my lowercase font, and I'm going to do the T, and then I'm going to come to my punctuations right here, my little tab, and do my apostrophe. And I'm going to go back to my lowercase and do my S. It's. Now, if you're looking for the space bar, it's going to be this little guy right here. It looks like an upside down bracket. That's your space bar. Upside down bracket. So let's tap that. And I'm going to go uppercase F, lowercase A, L, L. And then I'm going to select set. We're just going to start with it's fall. It's now in the center, so I'm going to use my edit key. Now remember, with your edit keys, that's where you can make things happen. So let's tap our edit key right here. And I like to use my move key versus my fingers moving things around because I get too jiggly. So I'm going to select move. and move it straight up from the center and say okay. If you want to array this, basically that means make it curve or do some other different formats. You're going to look in your edit. Now, if you went back to this, you're not going to find it. You want to select your edit key and you want to look for this T right here. This is your text. Basically your text, function. So if I tap on that, I can do whatever I want in here. I can change the font. I can change the size. I can change the spacing. But what I'm going to do is just click on the array button down here, and you may see it somewhere else. So it's ARRAY. Laura, let me go back. So that means your pumpkin is selected. So if you don't have red boxes around your letters, and the red boxes around your pumpkin, then what that means is your pumpkin's selected and your letters are not. So you want to use your select key down here at the bottom to go in between the words and the pumpkin. So you see what's happening? I hope y'all can see this. The red boxes around the pumpkin, the red boxes around its ball. Red box around pumpkin, red boxes around its ball. All right, so now we're going to go back to, I'm going to go back to that text and I'm going to select array. Now array is going to give me some options. I can put my letters on a diagonal line. I can make them curve. I can make them go around in a circle. I can make them curve that way, or I can make them go in a circle that way. But I'm going to select this one right here. That's just a slight curve. And you can adjust those by these little buttons down here. They look like eyeballs. So you can see it moving. I can adjust those. I don't like it, but I can adjust the curvature if I want to. I'm now going to select OK and set. So now I have its ball and my pumpkin. The last thing that we're going to add is whatever you want to add at the bottom. I'm going to do y'all. You can do whatever you feel like. So we're just going to select add again. And we're going to go to our double A's right here, or AA. I'm going to select that same font. And I'm going to start with my Y. But remember, on our very first letter, we need to tell it we want it medium. And I'm going to actually go to my punctuation first and put an apostrophe. I'll go to my lowercase and do ALL and set. Now, that's another reason why I don't also pick up anything on my string with my fingers, because you can select the pumpkin and then everything goes haywire. So let's go to edit. We're going to select move, and we can move that y'all right down. Now, if I don't like where any of these are sitting, I can always jump through with the select key. Remember how I was just showing y'all that whatever is selected with the red boxes is the one I'm going to move, and go to my move key, move it up. I can come back, select its ball, go to my move key and move it down. And there we go. I'm happy. Ta-da! Guess what? We're done. So now all you would have to do is go to embroidery and stitch it out. So the first color it's going to stitch out is the green. Then it'll do the oranges. Then it will do the outline of your pumpkin. And then it'll stitch out your words. And you could save this right now. So I'm going to save mine to my machine. And I can make this for gifts. Well, it's hard to see the red box, definitely on my screen. But yeah, it's harder to see that red box. So you may want to zoom in, Cindy. That would help. Use your zoom in key. All right, so let's move that a little forward so we can put the spotlight back on me. All right. So super quick, super easy, a lot of fun to make, and you can use any shape. Y'all, if you've been with me for the whole couple years we've been doing this, I know some of y'all know the date or know the time period. I can't remember, but we have done several things this way. But I think it's always good to go back over them because it's so much fun. Let me show you a couple here that I've done this way. This one was from a shape that we actually designed ourselves. We didn't bring a clip art in, but look, we made our little heart. We made our, this is our, I love this pillow so much. I just think it came out so cute. This is our flag, our American flag pillow. And you can go back and watch these videos. Okay. But this is one I think I did on our first Christmas that we were all together. This, I found this shape and did a clip art. I don't even remember what it looked like. You'll have to go find the video. And we split it in half so we could put a name in between there. And I always thought it was so stinking cute. It's a Christmas one. You could do fall one. You could find. So go back and find that video, and I'll show you guys how to find videos here in just a moment, especially since we've had so many new members. But I've always loved this one. It's so plain. I really want to stitch it out again on something different and maybe do some colors. We could actually go in there and break up the lines and change the colors of the trees. We could even fill in the trees and the stars. Oh my God, how cute would that? I wonder if it's still on my machine, because that would be really cute to go in and actually do fill stitching, like real fill stitching, not the fancy fills on the trees and the stars and the little suns. I guess that's what these are, flowers. That would be really cute. Yeah, the split out. Yeah, basically like the split out. That's kind of the idea. It was like the split thing, because that was popular a few years back, and now we have them on our machine in the Vision. So excited. So here we go. What was I going to show you? I just said, I was going to show you something. Oh, let me show you how to find previous videos. Now it's not very updated, because again, if you're new or if you've been here and haven't been back in a while, I was out for a while. So, let's check that out real quick. So it's going to be on our Facebook page. Thanks, Ernestine. Let's go back to our Facebook page right here. And what you want to do, let's get this guy over. When we're looking at the page, and it doesn't matter if you are on computer or on your iPhone or your regular phone or your regular smartphone. I should be saying that your smartphone and your smart iPad. This is going to be the same. So what you're going to do is you're going to be on this page, Forever BB Louise at Sewing at the Beehive. And you're going to scroll down and you're going to find this bar right here that has about, discussion, videos, topics. But you're also going to see files. So you're going to click on files and it's going to open up. And there's a bunch of things here. So there's even some embroidery designs in there that some people have graciously given to us over this time. You're going to see, come down and scroll down, you're going to see Facebook groups to join, Facebook groups that we love in this group, and also Facebook Live video lists. So just scroll down till you see that. If you click on it, it's going to bring you to this page, and you're going to hover right here where it says Facebook Live video list. You're going to click on that. It'll download to wherever it downloads. I don't know where everybody's stuff downloads, but mine downloads at the bottom of my computer. I can open it up and here are the video list. So you can go through all of the videos. I do this for every Sunday Night Live, although I am a little behind right now. We know that. So I've got a live link on there. So that means that you can go, and I'm going to try to find that really quickly. It was up in the beginning when we did that one, the Christmas one. Okay, well, whatever. One of my most popular ones is the holiday font pillows. So let's go to this one and see there's a live link. So that means you can click on it and it's going to take you right to the video. There's the video. Now, when I first started out, it was very, very bad. Now, this is still bad, but the way I'm still not very professional, but my first videos, people who've been with me before for a long time, they're like, oh yeah, it was kind of, but we made it through, right, ladies? We did good. Let me see. Let me zip through here so you can see. Oh, I got to hit play, I guess. So you can see there's my videos right there. And this is one, y'all remember this one? I have my pillow right here. I'll show y'all. Okay. Okay, so that's super easy to find there. And that video goes over how to make these type of pillows here. Ta-da! Isn't that cute? I love this one. I really want to put it out and out front, but you know, I gotta have it back here with me. So all right. Oh, that's awesome, Teresa. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. So I hope you have learned a little bit, something new. Let's see. Okay. So hopefully you learned a little something new today. If not, you've had a review and it's fall, y'all. It's time to go have some fun. So get on your machines, make some stuff, and remember to post them. Because I like to see what y'all are making. I'm about to knock stuff off. That's why I'm doing that. And so I hope you guys have a wonderful week and have fun sewing. And remember to always shop local and shop small. And hopefully by next week, if we don't have a major hurricane, I'll have my new thread racks up. I just bought some beautiful thread racks and they're the R&K thread racks. I cannot wait for them to put them up and I can show you guys. So excited. So excited. Okay. Well, y'all have a great week. And those of you who are in Florida along with me, let's hold on tight. Hold on tight to our shells. And have a good one, guys. Bye. I always forget how to do this. Bye.